Why everyone says AI bubble gonna burst? Let me explain. But before we start, I want you to keep one thing in mind through this whole video. OpenAI is not profitable yet. And it is the company shaping the entire future of AI. The company everyone else is chasing. Now here is where it becomes worrying. Even though OpenAI is not profitable, all the companies are investing in AI, not just into OpenAI, investing a lot in AI, and it could become a huge problem in the long run. Why I say it could be a huge problem? Because we have seen this before. The last time everyone poured billions of dollars into a new technology they didn't understand fully, and that technology caused a lot of loss of money actually. You will understand why I am saying that by the end of this video and why that could become a big problem in the long run. Please keep watching. Even don't dare to subscribe. You can do it later. It could become a big problem because we see some similarities right now between AI and .com bubble. By the end of this video, you will see why people are calling this the next big bubble and how it connects all the way back to .com crash, and what is the relation with SP500, which everyone is investing for their retirement, right? But first, let's start with understanding the AI investment circle. This chart was revealed by Bloomberg and it shows exactly how the money moves between these companies. And Nvidia has announced plans to invest up to $100 billion into OpenAI as a part of strategic deal. That includes at least 10 gigawatts of AI infrastructure and massive hardware purchases. And besides that, AMD has announced multi-year strategic partnership with OpenAI, which OpenAI will deploy up to 6 gigawatts of AMD's GPUs with a potential sales value of over $100 billion for AMD. On paper, everyone looks like they are making money, but what's really happening is that the biggest tech companies are just trading money in circles. Simply, they invest in each other and then they use the same money to buy each other's product, and every time they do it, their stock prices go up, but it is not a real profit. It is the same money just moving in circles. I saw one really good comment about this situation. It represented perfectly, I think. You pay me $100 to dig a hole in the woods, then I pay you $100 to fill the hole back in. Technically, we both made money, but nothing real was created. It was give and take. Let's go in more details. OpenAI is worth about $150 billion, but it only makes around $4 billion a year. That means that the company is priced almost 40 times higher than what it earns. Does it count as a problem? I will come to that, but first I need to make the connections and why I mentioned circular investment and the valuation versus revenue comparison. I don't want to sound like someone is just judging. I do understand that AI, especially large language models like GPT, need a massive amount of data and massive amount of computing power. It is because they have to be taught almost everything that exists online. These models are trained on billions of words from books, websites, data collected from across the internet, not specific to one topic. To learn from all that information, they run non-stop calculations across thousands of powerful chips. That takes a lot of energy for sure, a lot of hardware, and of course a lot of money. So in a way that these big investments and partnerships still make sense. But we are not talking about millions, we are talking about billions of money, and why it is scary, I will come to that in a minute. Before that, I want to go back in the history and talk about the .com bubble, which is really relevant, and you will understand why it is scary and called as AI bubble. The year was 1995, the internet was brand new and full of promise. Everyone believed it will change the world, and yes it did, but investors were just wrong about one thing. They thought it will happen instantly. And because of the sense of urgency and greediness, venture capitalists who like to invest money in startup companies and Wall Street start pouring money into any company. This is important, any company with a .com end of their name. Let me give some startup examples which will make it more clear to understand. A startup is created called Pets.com. This startup was selling dog food online. That was their idea at least, and it raised over $300 million in valuation. So it is the dangerous example, right? Another example is a grocery delivery company called Webvan raised $1 billion. It sounds like they were actually golden ideas, right? Still, they were really good ideas back in time, but they couldn't survive. Dozens of other companies popped up with no product, wrong venue, just with hype. As expected, since there was a lot of investment in those companies, tech stock price exploded in those years up till 2000 because everyone was so greedy to make money, make fast money. The NASDAQ went up 400% in those 5 years. That means if you invested $10,000 in 95, it looked like 50,000 by the year 2000. On paper, probably you were able to buy 5 houses with that money in those times. But then the problem hit. Most of these companies weren't earning money, they were just burning to grow. And when investors finally realized that, they lost trust and the bubble just burst. The NASDAQ dropped 78%, $5 trillion of value just disappeared. Overnight, hundreds of companies just went bankrupt. Not because the internet failed, but because everyone believed in too fast. Isn't it just now we are seeing the same pattern again? Investors today are throwing money at anything with the word AI in it, just like they did in .com. Even the MIT found that 95% of those companies using generative AI got zero return on investment. So AI kind of gives the same sign with .com bubble. AI kind of gives the same signs as the .com bubble. MIT literally says 95% of those companies get no return, and if AI really is following the same pattern as the .com bubble, then the consequences could be huge. And now you might ask, like, what is the relation with me? Like, how does this can affect me? Well, let's talk about how it connects to SP 500, which everyone invests, as I said before. We have a group inside the SP 500 called the Magnificent Seven. Who are they? Microsoft, Nvidia, Apple, Google, Meta, Amazon, and Tesla. And these are the companies investing massively into AI right now, and they make up a huge part of the entire SP 500. And they have invested money in OpenAI and had sales to OpenAI. It proves that the stock market actually hasn't grown in the last 2 years. So if AI hype ever slows down or disappoints the investors, like has done in .com bubble, the SP 500 could feel a major shakeup. And I want you to follow this with the most important question: who pays when the bubble bursts? Thank you for watching. I really want to hear your thoughts on this. So tell me what you think in the comments, and if you like this video, hit the subscribe. I really appreciate your support. If I didn't mention something, please ask me in the comments then, so we can discuss about that, or I can make another video for you for follow up this video. And you can check it out my last video about how they are getting rich by firing.